Greetings and welcome. I'm Dragon Strike 72, and I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy XIV. So, I originally started Final Fantasy XIV with the 2.0 release, which was A Realm Reborn. I've played through Endwalker and some of the end content and just after that. But in my time, I'm pretty much stayed on the same character the whole time. I'm not one of those people that just jumps characters. And after taking a post-Endwalker break, I came back after the release of Dawn Trail. And I thought about something I wanted to do. And so today, I begin my journey into 100%ing Final Fantasy XIV. There are some rules here that need to be understood, and I can go over some of them in a bit, but for now, what this means is get every achievement, complete every duty, level every job, ground up. So, for instance, I can't just plow through story to unlock things, and that's a big part of this, is I want to do this to actually do everything, to do all the quests, every triple triad card, every weird little thing that is in this game. I am going to do it. So when I start off, whichever job I start with is going to determine where I start. At level 10, the ability to start picking up other jobs picks up. And when that happens, here is rule 2. When I get there, I have to switch jobs. So what this means is that initially I'll essentially be maxing out my job in one area. The reasoning on this is that what I want to be able to do is by the end of Realm Reborn be sitting on level 50 jobs. All the available jobs that'll level to 50 right then and there. Just done. done. So there is likely going to be some slowdowns. We'll wait on the animation. There will likely be some slowdowns. Things that I'm not allowed to do. Can't buy up a job level. Yeah, that's just out and out cheating. Now, due to having played this game for over a decade, I have built up stuff that's in the store. From the store that's on my character. I just can't do anything about that. You're going to see it as soon as it pops up. There's some mount stuff, nothing particularly horrific. But our whole operative thing here is figuring out how to do this. And it does not just pertain to the combat jobs. We're going to do the gathering, the crafting, all of it. I have to complete every log entry. I have to get every mastercraft recipe, every orchestrion roll, triple triad card, anything that is in here that is gettable, I have to get. That includes achievements. So, without further ado, let us set the mood and watch the opening teaser for A Realm Reborn, which you'll know when I start Heavensward, because I will change my movies and titles to reflect that. This looked so awesome. When I started, it still looks awesome. I was originally going to be in on 1.0, but it was a bit of a disaster, and to be honest, my computer at the time would have wept tears of blood if I tried. So I unfortunately fully missed out on that run. Right, played pretty much every Final Fantasy game, though I have to say pretty much because it's such a wide area. Because you've got like Final Fantasy Legends, people go back and forth about Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I played Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII. The original Final Fantasy was my first Final Fantasy game. For the original Nintendo, or Famicom if you're in Japan. What's interesting is this actually happened as an in-game event. 1.0's release was cursed. You should check out the NoClip did a documentary series on this. And it was completely nuts. It really came down to Square Enix having gotten way too settled. They more or less had a situation where they had been on top for so long within like JRPGs. They had done so well with like Final Fantasy XI, which was their first MMO venture on Final Fantasy. And it had all done so well. And then they effed it. Effed it in the B. Because between Final Fantasy XI and Final Fantasy XIV, they didn't look at any other MMOs. They didn't see what was in the space. Like, the MMO market had shifted so much. And they thought, oh, if we just get, the best graphics and whatnot, that, that will make this the best MMO. They were wrong. They were so wrong. And I wish I had been here for the in-game event. Really should have invested in a better PC earlier in life. I'd have played through the pain. The war chickens. It is a little weird watching this, knowing what's coming. Oh. So weird. When this part comes, when something comes up later, I'll explain why this part is weird. So these are legacy chocobo, which only the 1.0 players who subbed for at least 90 days got. They also got a legacy tattoo. If I find someone in game with it, I will show it off. I will point it out. But it's a little difficult finding them because honestly, it's been a decade. But let us begin. Welcome to character selection. Whoops. Nope, that is a different character. I don't even remember this one. But he's still in base gear, so... Okay. So we, of course, come to our... And yeah, I'm going to be playing a male. So you have your basic Cure or human. Elezen. The elves. Our basic Lalafell. Mikote. Rogadin. Aura. Hrothgar. And Viera. Okay. I could do Midlander. Midlander clan comprises over half the population of Yorzius Hures. Oops. Okay. Do I want to do... All right. Smart-ass part of me that wants to make him look like the guy on the cover. I feel like everyone's kind of choosing like Viera, Alra, and Mikote with a few Roganin, and then there's the Lalafell Union. Lalafell players are either the best you've ever met or the spawn of Satan. There is no middle line with the Lalafells. And I can't live up to that pressure. Don't much care for the doing Hrothgar. It's a personal thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hewer. When just over 5'10", for those wondering. Okay. Now the one problem with hairstyles comes in later, which is like headpieces and stuff. Turns into a whole thing where you're kind of it's like you get a hairstyle that looks really cool, and then you're like, the game's like, okay, now we're just going to give you everything that clips through your collar in a way that will slowly drive you mad. I'm probably agonizing over this decision too much as a general point. But hey. You know what? This one looks manageable. Let's do this. Yeah, I like that hair color a little better. It's kind of important that you get a decent base look. You're going to be looking at your face more than you think in this game. Yeah. I'm starting as a rando first level. Having like a bunch of scars feels like I'm putting on airs. That might be a thing later after like something significant happens, but nah, let's keep the look clean for now. Now a tattoo, on the other hand, we could do. Hmm. I don't know. My tattoo options aren't great. Really not feeling it. Usually I do a tattoo or something, but whoops, that's not something I meant to do. All right. Oops. Yeah, we've got Halon. These are the various gods. Now, interestingly, 2.0, this did have an effect within the game. We got Halon, mover of glaciers and goddess of wars, the guardian deity of Ishgard, which does come into play later. Daughter of Ralger. Vina is keeper of the moon and goddess of love. Thaliak, mover of wisdom and god of knowledge, guardian deity of Charlayan. Commands the element of water and is associated with the third moon of the Eorzean calendar. Nymea. Nymea is watchers and goddess of fate. She commands the element of water. Limlen, goddess of navigation. Guardian deity of Limsa. Oshan is the ruler of the mountains and god of travelers and vagrants. Associated with sixth moon. Third of Naldthal. And close companion of Halon. He is most often depicted as a carefree ranger wielding a bow of yew. His symbol is the walking stick. Byragot, purveyor of architecture and industry, god of the arts. He commands the element of lightning and is associated with the seventh moon of the Eorzean calendar. Elder brother of Halon, pupil of Thaliak. Man, Halon's just packing it in on this one. It's most often depicted as an ardent smith with a two-headed hammer. His symbol is the hand. Ralger, breaker of worlds, is the god of destruction and guardian deity of the now fallen nation of Alamigo. He commands the element of lightning associated with the eighth moon. Ralger is the father of both Byragot and Halon and serves as attendant to Nymea. He is most often depicted as a magus carrying a staff of bronze. His symbol is the streaking meteor. Azema, keeper of the sun, goddess of inquiry. Commands the element of fire. Azema is the daughter of Althik and the elder sister of Menfina. So is a noble lady holding a gold fan. Naldthal is overseer of the underworld and god of commerce. And is guardian deity of Ul'dah. He commands the element of fire and is associated with the 10th moon. Naldthal is the single manifestation of the deific twins Nald and Thal. He is most often depicted as a discerning merchant holding a balance. His symbol is the cowrie, an ancient shell currency. Nofika, under of soils and harvests and goddess of abundance. Althik is surveyor of change and space and god of time. He commands the element of earth and associated. Father of Zema and Menthina, and elder brother to Nymea. He is often depicted as an austere emperor wielding a mithril great axe. His symbol is the hourglass. To be honest, this doesn't have, like it says, they're like right in the middle there, above where I'm at. This has nothing, it has no effect on gameplay. But hey, you know what? Let's be honest, I'm going to overdo it on the crafting. We're taking Byragot. Alright, so you get 3 essential role choices. There's tank. Be in the front, take the hit. Keep the enemies off the party as best you can. Starting out, your options are kind of limited. That's just how it works. DPS has more choices. Oh, there's Gladiator and Marauder. That's your basic sword and board fighter. This is what they do. Eventually becomes the paladin job at level 30. Then we have the marauder. Marauder's got big axe, big swings going down. Their big thing is that they tend to heal while dealing / taking hits. That is, your goal is to just whomp the hell out of people. Whereas the gladiator is your more classic, I'm trying to keep the damage down, take less damage. You know, I am the shield. Conjurer, which as we can see by the garb here, becomes white mage. You're just a healer, my dude. You heal people. Mostly you DPS though. Yeah, you're gonna cast you're gonna be casting earth magic a lot. That's probably the most regular thing you're doing, unless things are going very wrong. And we start getting into some in the DPS, which means damage per second. Your whole point is hurt them fast. Most of these are more along the lines of what you'd call a glass cannon. Deal a lot of damage, but you cannot take the pressure that long. Pugilist. I will beat them up with my fists. Eventually becomes the monk job. We've got Lancer, which, yes, looks very, very cool, and becomes the dragoon. You do jump attacks, you do stabs, disembowels. Kind of fun. Let's see. Archer eventually becomes the bard. Your whole thing is mainly you're doing things like you poison the enemy, and then you get various you can debuff the enemy, you can buff your group, you do range. Eventually you become the bard. Your big thing is you're kind of a support job that still hurts people. You get into doing songs, and bard unlocks the ability to do music. Thaumaturge, master of the dark arts. Eventually turns into black mage, which is one of the slowest jobs in the game, honestly. That one's going to hurt me a little. Yeah. It's going to hurt my soul. Then we finally, last and certainly most reworked, the Arcanist. The Arcanist can become two different jobs. One is a healing job, and one is a magical DPS job. On the magical DPS side, what you will see him sporting is the summoner attire. Summoners summon things. First, you start out with like cutesy little guys. But if you go the other route, you go over to Scholar. Become a healer. Though different than what a white mage does. You have a lot of passive heals. You're not as you are not as in line as one would say. So now, obviously, by the terms of the challenge and the rules, I have to do all of this. The rules that I have imposed upon myself that no one is currently holding me to. All right. Which way do I want to go with this? If I go gladiator, I'll end up... Now, if you look at the bottom left, it'll tell you where you're going to start. So if you start as a gladiator, you start in Ul'dah. If you start as a marauder, you start in Limsa. Conjurer to Gridania. And it's a fun little bit. Okay. Let's think. My prior main was a conjurer, and I don't want to redo it. It just, like, it's too easy to slip back into old rhythms. And I've been there, I did the do. So we're looking at either tank or deeps. I feel like a lot of people who do these videos are going tank. Much as Paladin kind of calls out to me. Let's go with Pugilist. Ul'dah is kind of a weird starting point, but now to name me. Whoops. Let's not drop that. Okay. So as we sit here and think on this, I have to come up with a name. You know what? Let's try the random generator. Vincent Yar. Humphrey Bell. Robin Gelson. Ladislas Good. Oric Wright. Navarre Ward. Kinnison Fields. Isaac Wheeler. Ludwika Barlow. Jesus Christ. St. Witt. Gene Werner. Son. Sander North. Rorik Folk. Hodden. Brad. Esmond. Elizar. Danielle. Mansell. Samson. Orwin. Gerald. Or Gerald, however you want to say it. Brad, Raph, Samson, Voice. There just really aren't that many names. Syriac does not sound like I'm the Warrior of Light. Joffrey. You know what? Take Vincent, but a good surname. And there's the alliterative. Vincentville. Yeah, this is where I tend to die out on characters. I'm set. Do it in D&D, 7th Sea. I butts over to the names so much. could swing a different direction entirely. It's weirdly easier with the other races because you can kind of like Rogadin have they have sort of a naming convention to how they set their names. And you'll see it as we play. But coming in is a Midlander Hewer. All right, let's tap over and take a look here. Uh, oh, weiß nie, Röbiard. At least vaguely pronounceable would be nice. Dagda's being a little presumptive. Yeah, all right. Do 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 do. Sion Sean Wild. Okay. Let's try it. Yeah, I didn't think that one was gonna trip me up. Yes. All right. That would have legitimately shocked me if that name was taken. Because who's gonna try and spell a name in Irish Gaelic? All right. So my Irish brawler heads for the desert. All right. And this fun game. There are 10 players in the queue. We'll leave the auto advance off, because I am going to have to read things. Ooh.
Here. Here. Feel.
Men in masks are never to be trusted.
Here. Feel. Think.
Hey! Hey, you! You alright, lad? You were moaning something fierce for a while there. Feeling the effects of the aether, I reckon. You get used to it, though. Don't worry. You there! Halt! What's this all about? Inspection. Men, search the carriage. Just an honest peddler, friend. So don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, eh? Mind your tongue, old man, lest I cut it out. Sir, look! Somnus! Honest peddler, was it? Since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibited herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in a dungeon till the end of your days, unless you can afford the fine. Business as usual. Look! Amalia! Amalia! 2 arms! 2 arms! Seven hells. Consider this a warning. Now go, all of you. A lot of anime, manga, and stuff really love letting in. Whew. That kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You be careful around them brass plates, lad. Bastards will have the shirt off your back if they fancy it. The common bandits they are, only less honest. Thank the gods for sending some beastmen to the rescue, eh? Hey, seeing as we've still got a long ride ahead, mind keeping me company till we arrive? Them young'uns don't much care for conversation, see. Brent's the name, and peddling's me trade. And judging by your unusual garments, I'll wager you're one of them new adventurers. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. As long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's risky business. These days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? Let's see. Why did you become an adventurer? To gain power. To win glory. To amass a fortune. I kinda wish there were more options than this. We'll go with glory. Glory, eh? Well, if you're willing to take on them tasks other folks ain't, an adventurer such as yourself can win fame what coin can't buy. When you arrive in town, you'll want to report to the Adventurers Guild. You can find out everything you need to know about the adventuring business in there. Just remember, though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. By the by, is this your first trip to Ul'dah? Yes. It is. Well then, let this journey itinerant tell you the ins and outs of your destination. Ul'dah is ruled by the Sultana in name, but as most folk know, the Syndicate holds all the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would happily get rid of her grace altogether, but that won't happen, while she still commands the loyalty of the Royalists. The Royalists are nothing if not loyal. These factions have long fought over power, throwing the weight of their wealth against each other, and they show no sign of stopping. Of course, the Lizard Men, that's the Amalja, couldn't care less about Hul'dan politics. They have their own interests, say, and they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war is a gift to peddlers. Need breeding profit. Thought, and though it shames me to say it, I'm inclined to agree. At long last. Behold Ul'dah, jewel of Thanolin, where folk turn sand into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises. A solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lad. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, then it's on to the high road for me. Here, want you to have this. A way of thanks for putting up with my prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. Hey, but here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
Final Fantasy 14. I don't feel like it was necessary to throw it up there, but, you know, I get it. I don't think I've ever started in Ul'dah. Pretty much just mained and secondary characters started in Limsa, but honestly, just always end up in Gridania. Oi! Venturer! Over here! Aye, I mean you. Fresh off the carriage by any chance, eh? How can I tell? Name's Wymond, and my business is knowing every bugger's else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by way of welcome to our fair city? Free of charge, even. Just this once, like. Welcome to Ul'dah, the shining beacon of prosperity rising from the deserts of Thanalan. Please select the control scheme you wish to use. I'm using the gamepad. Follow the instructions to move your character and adjust the position of the camera. See, that's what I'm doing now. See, speak what? Now, I am playing on a computer. I could use mouse and keyboard, but I sort of originally trained on this game on PlayStation. So my instincts run gamepad. Oh god, no one ever wants to open the Lost Stone. Non-player characters, NPCs, offering quests can be recognized by the exclamation marks above their heads. To bring up the quest window, speak with the NPC by first targeting him, then pressing the confirm button. Once you've initiated a quest, a prompt will appear detailing the objectives and rewards. Press the Accept button in the lower left to add the quest to your list of current duties. Alright. See, so you have experience, 400, Gil, 103. Let's accept it. It's plain to anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. If I let you go wandering off down the nearest dark alley, you're certain to get mugged or worse. And I don't want that on my conscience. So before you do anything else, you want to head over to the quicksand and speak with Momodi. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path. Just take those steps over yonder and pass through the double doors. You'll find her inside. And that's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with the adventuring, adventurer. You have begun a quest. Use the duty list to help you complete your task. Upon accepting the quest, the current objectives will appear under the quest title in the duty list on the right side of the screen. A maximum of 5 quests can be displayed at once. Whoops. Back to normal. Now we can do that. Selecting the title will open the quest in your journal, allowing you to review objectives and rewards. Okay. Now let's show what he's talking about. Coming to old this is the journal. There you go. Find it under duty. On gamepad, if you just hit your select button, it'll rotate through the various stuff. And here we are. This will bring up the map of your zone. Now, interestingly, and I found this out by accident and screwed myself up, you can move things. You can change maps very easily. Press the Y button. It'll take you out. Takes you out. You can now see a general map of this little dot, surrounding zones and whatnot. You can even pull out to the big map. Ain't that nifty? Okay. Okay, I do need to rearrange some things here. So, when you're starting, one of the important concepts that you are going to end up learning is that you kind of need to relay the hotbar here, because holy crap, oh my Christ. So I'm going to move my bar there down. There we are. So you'll notice me micro-sizing a lot of this. It just doesn't need to be this big. All right. I'm really just going to do the basic ones at this point because I don't need the other ones. Okay. You. I always lose that when it is not. It's a very good time to talk about, you know, they allow you to customize so much of this, which is nice. Customize your size, your other various settings, and what you can do, make sure that your real estate is okay, is as well used as possible. Now, this is a trick you learn if you played a long time. You tend to forget to look up at the top here. And it can hurt you. Because what you'll see me doing is basically keeping the status enhancement and the status enfeeblement. Both do kind of the same thing. That's not going to come in till way later, but we're going to put that down there anyway, because we know that Okay. Let's get you back down into your corner. And let's get you back down into your corner. Okay, like the duty list. So if you press the right stick, like a button, you can change the size to whatever you need. I do not need it to be this big. That is entirely too large. Okay, so one of the things that you will note is that you are likely taking a look at is the fact that I have... Okay. That to be huge. You don't need that to be huge either. Okay. Now, I know I could cut this whole sectional thing out, but if I'm being honest, it's one of those things people never go over, is how much you can actually just customize your whole layout. Okay. So this will be the party list. So when I'm partied up with people, I know it looks dead right now, but this is basically an instanced area. All right. There we go. And what I am more or less doing at this point is making sure that what I'm doing, one, so you guys can actually see more of the screen. Whoop. Okay. Let's see. Very nice indeed. Oh, won't we sprint yet? And go with folks from all over. Now, this place looks really empty player-wise. This is instanced. Complete a quest by speaking to the NPC with a check mark displayed above his or her head. Completing quests will earn you a variety of rewards, from items and guild to experience points. Why, hello there. Who might you be? If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momodi, and I own this fine establishment, if it pleases you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah, so you might say that looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And lucky for you that it is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself out in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Which is going to happen anyway. Like our conflict with the Amalja, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on, forever now. Then there's the Garlean Empire. Nothing can say for sure what they're plotting these days, only that they are. Aye, the people drink and make merry, but underneath it all, there's worry. Worry and a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder, scarce been 5 years since the lesser moon cracked open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm to an eighth hell. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. It's like the end of the world had come at last. Then, things begin to get foggy. Everyone's got their own version of what happened next. Some of them 2 or 3. You'd think people would remember something like that, but the fact is they don't. Nobody does. There is one thing the survivors agree on, though. The part played by a band of adventurers who laid down their lives for a realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly. Like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering, I'm sure you'll agree. It's just a shame our recollections of those brave heroes are as jumbled as those of the calamity itself. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, it's like they're standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I'll bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? It's not. It's bloody infuriating. But even if we can't remember them, we'll not let them be forgotten. And so we call them the Warriors of Light. They'll forever stand as a shining example of what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. All I ask is that you lend a helping hand and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to let you join the guild. All right then. A promise is a promise now. I'm counting on your help to put the past behind us. We need people working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Ul'dah means more business for the quicksand, too. Any road, let's make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register, neat as you can. Siano Eileen. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off the tongue, it does. All right, Mr. Eileen. On behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... Please, sir, be merciful. 12 is my witness, I swear to you. I'll bring you your money. In the East, it is said that even a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. See what I was saying about the Lolfels? That's the dichotomy. They're either the nicest person in Eorzea, or this. Be grateful you were given a 4th chance to offend. You two, attend to the scum. No, please, mercy! Well, ain't that a sorry sight? Nor an uncommon one, I'm afraid, if I'm honest. Don't worry, though. If you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Just don't go bothering me every time you stub your bloody toe, all right? Of course, I do enjoy hearing tell of a gentleman's woes with the women folk from time to time. Any road, welcome to Adal, Sean. Take a moment to catch your breath, and I'll teach you a little about our fair city. And pop. This concludes the introductory game tutorial. You have taken the first step as an adventurer in the city of Ul'dah. Listen well to the wisdom of Momodi Modi. Then go forth and discover the incredible adventures that await you. Dun, 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 dun. Main scenario quests. Important quests used to tell the story of Eorzea and her people are called main scenario quests. These tasks are easily distinguished from others by their unique icon. Quests using this icon indicate a task or series of tasks that are tied to new duties or features you have yet to unlock. Scenario Guide. The Scenario Guide is a HUD element that indicates the next available quest in the main scenario. It also displays the next available quest for your currently equipped job or class. By selecting the Scenario Guide, you can confirm where these quests are located on the map. Alright, well, seeing as I have nothing else to really do, before you go charging off to find your fortune, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform so as to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aetheryte Plaza. To get there, head west from here till you reach Emerald Avenue. Then look to the north. You should see a giant floating crystal called an Aetheryte. If it weren't for Aetherites, traveling around Eorzea would be a damn sight more troublesome than it is. Of course, you still need to attune with them before you can use them. So be sure to do that with the one in the plaza. You ever attuned with an Aetherite before, Sean? Sean? Yeah, Sean. Okay, we're going with that. If not, just lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you've done that, I want you to pay a visit to the Pugilists Guild over at the Platinum Mirage. Assuming those weapons of yours ain't just for show, you might consider training there. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, over on the steps of Thal. Goods from all across Eorzea and beyond turn up there every day. You'll have no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say that's everything's for sale here in Ul'dah, as long as you've got the guild. Just make sure as you don't pay more than you ought, Sean. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they think no one's looking out for their best interests. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesarogga and give it to him. He'll be happy to tell you about the markets once he's read it. In short, then, visit the Aetheryte Plaza, the Pugilists Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. Oh, but before you go, a word of advice. While there are more than a few unsavory characters out there who'll try to take advantage of you, there are also some with honest-to-goodness problems who you should consider offering a helping hand to. A lot of folk are lured to this city by the promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realize is that instead of chasing after Gil the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. Let it be known that you're willing to give as much as you get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, speak with the smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventurers. Otherwise, that's about it from me. It's past time you got going. Oh, let me know when you're finished, will you? That way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a guild of your name. Yo. Main menu. See? Wow, a lot of AFK in here. Alright. Oh, we're in an RP thing. A crescent moon icon will appear to the right of your experience bar when you enter a sanctuary. While in this special area, you will accrue a rested bonus. The bonus will continue to grow even if you are offline. All experience earned through battle, crafting, and gathering while under the benefit of the rested bonus will be increased by 50%. Your current rested bonus is displayed on top of your experience bar. The dark orange bar shows how much more experience can be earned before the bonus fades. If the bar is blue, it indicates your bonus will carry over to the next level. Inns and cities, as well as various outposts and settlements, are classified as sanctuaries. Okay. To maximize your experience earning potential, make it a habit to always log out in one of these areas. The main menu grants quick and easy access to most of the game's main features. For example, selecting character under character opens a window containing your character's various attributes and currently equipped gear. Selecting journal under duty displays a list of current and completed quests and lead quests. If you wish to customize the game's various settings, okay. Look back there. Game progress saved automatically. Oh, there's an interesting one on that one. The game progress being saved automatically. So in 1.0, for whatever reason, when they started it up, when you tried to exit the game, it would tell you that any unsaved progress may be lost, but there's no way to click a save thing. So like people were getting stuck in this loop because they're like, oh God, I cannot afford to lose my stuff here. Holy God. Yeah. It was hilarious. When Naoki Yoshida came on, he was playing around in the game to look at it. He's like, wait, no, this is, oh God, this is insane. All right. Let me go over here, bunch of quests and stuff that I'm gonna need to do at some point. All right. Let's get running. So many people. Yeah, all the names in blue are in fact, those are player names. I may need to play with this HUD a bit, but I will do that later. Oh, there's Wymond. All right. And this would be the Aetheryte Plaza. Tuning to the Aetheryte is insanely important. Hail, adventurer. Might you have come at the behest of Miss Momodi of the Quicksand? Excellent. Which brings us to the matter of the attunement fee. That will be 100,000 gil, if you please, sir. Apologies, but I do so relish the opportunity to make that jest. The look on your face was absolutely priceless. Ah, but the fact that you were so easily deceived suggests to me that you are unfamiliar with the use of Aetherites. Allow me to explain. These crystalline agglomerations tap into ethereal energies. They're primarily used as a means of to travel swiftly from one place to another. Perhaps you have heard of return and teleport. Well, these transportation spells make direct use of the Aetherites and their connection to the flow of Aether. Given that there is an Aetherite in almost every corner of Eorzea, Any adventurer with a mind to explore the realm will wish to seek out and tune himself to each and every one. But even if you have no intention of wandering beyond the Sultanate's borders, it would be prudent for you to attune yourself to any Aetherites you encounter from now on. I pray you've found that informative. Should you wish to learn more about Aetherites or transportation magic, I should be happy to answer your questions. Return. Learned. You attune with the Aetherite. We're now able to use the return spell. Cool. Yeah, it will just bring me back to... This is now my home Aetherite by default. Yeah, that mini-map's gonna bug me. Alright, I will change it now. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna end up with so much crap in my inventory out of the gate. Okay. Nope. Don't need hotbar 8. Okay. Alright. Oh, right. Don't have that many abilities yet. No. Oh, I'm overshooting. Alright. So yeah, it will show you essentially where you're going. Assuming you don't, ignore the mini-map and screw it up and screw the pooch entirely on direction, which you will see me do repeatedly. Greetings and welcome to the Pugilist's Guild. I see you already walked the path of the pugilist, yet your journey has only just begun. We've only just begun. I highly recommend you add your name to our roll, for there is no better place in all the realm to train in our discipline than here. The origins of pugilism as we know it can be traced back to the staging of bare-handed bouts at the Colosseum. These contests attracted fighters from far and wide, bringing their myriad styles crashing together on the blood sands. Amidst this chaotic intermingling of styles, there rose a pugilist of singular strength and skill. This woman made it her life's mission to master every form she encountered, that she might refine her art. Among her many song-worthy exploits, we pugilists remember participation in a gladiator tournament most fondly. Back when bare-handed fighting was still seen as a pastime for peasants, she took on fully armed and armored gladiators and effortlessly bested the lot of them. Word of her feat spread across the realm like wildfire, of course, and Ul'dah swiftly transformed into a center of pugilism, with people flocking from all over to train under this master among masters. The woman's name was Cornelia, and it's to her that the Pugilist's Guild owes its existence. The art practiced here is based on her all-encompassing style, and this training hall is modeled upon the one which she once built. And there it is, a brief history of our guild. I've told this tale 1,000 times, but gods, it never fails to fan the flames of my fighting spirit. Now then, should you wish to proceed with enrollment, you must first obtain the guildmaster's approval. Let me know if you'd like to meet him. You'll kind of follow this process in each of the jobs. So, are you ready to present yourself for the guildmaster's inspection? No. Master Heyman is among the greatest pugilists of our time. For long years, the man ruled the blood sands as the Holy Fist, though he has since retired in favor of training aspiring fighters. You will find him overseeing his charges yonder. Go now and show him the fighting spirit that burns within you. I'm going to be very disappointed in this meeting. Past time you got your arse Bach here. Well, what did the dancer have to say about my proposition? You're not my errand boy. There's no dancer. There never was. I'm not doing anything indecent. I swear to the gods. Okay. Cool story, bro. What? You're here to enroll? Oh, well. Why didn't you say so sooner? In my capacity as guildmaster, I'd be glad to give you a primer on the art of hand-to-hand combat. Doubtless you already know this, but we pugilists fight with our fists and feet. While these don't deal as much damage as a blade, it hardly matters when you can land several blows for each swing of the sword. What we lack in destructive force, we more than make up for in speed and cunning. Under my guidance, not only will you master striking techniques, you'll also learn to string them together to deliver an endless flurry of blows. Only through such fierce combinations can a pugilist realize his potential. Yar! Crikey, I'm spent from all this talking. You ought to speak more, son. Give me a chance to catch my breath. Where was I? All right, join in the guild. Before you do so, I must warn you that the path of the pugilist is long and arduous. Do you believe you've got what it takes to go the distance? Be honest with yourself now. I can go the distance. Yes, you have fighting spirit. I can see it in your eyes. See no reason to deny you a place in these halls. Welcome to the guild, son. For your first lesson, I want you to test your fledgling skills against the vermin of Thanalin. Get out there and put down 3 marmots, 3 hornets, and 3 shrews. Return here when the deed is done. Back to jogging. We're jogging, we're jogging, we're jogging. So I'm taking a break from just barreling through the quest. Oh yeah, the Halloween decorations. So this is during a All Saints Wake is what it's called here. I need to remember to do that quest when I open it. You now have access to the Aethernet. Quick travel through the city can be achieved by simply placing your hand upon Aethernet shards. Yep, tuning the shards granted you access to the state's Ethernet. So, we're just going to go ahead. I'm all the way down the hill here. Let's get back to the Aetherite Plaza. Keep it moving. Do 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 do. I really need that up. There we go. Now I can quick port back. Welcome to the Steps of Thal. These are the markets. Cesaroga. You are? Oh, a newly come adventurer. But of course, yes, I am Cesaroga. What can I do? Ah, you would have me teach you the ways of the marketplace. Very wise. As for my fee... What? Let me do it for free? Surely you jest. My dear adventurer, when you ask an old Don for a favor, you should at least try to make it worth his while. Judging by your garb, I rather doubt you could afford my services, but the fact you offer nothing is laughable. And this is where we get into handing over items. Oh, Mistress Mabodi instructed you to seek me out, did she? Consider yourself fortunate to have such influential friends. Shall be brief, and you shall be attentive. You shall get slapped. You stand in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, the busiest and most profitable marketplace in the Sultanate. Being advantageously situated in the relation to the other city-states, Uldah's markets have ever served as both the literal and figurative centers of Eorzean commerce. All the great overland trade routes lead to our city, and the majority of maritime trade between Vilbrand and Aldenard passes through our ports. Vilbrand is over by Limsa, Aldenard is over by Gridania. Because of this, countless companies and consortia have chosen Uldah as their base of operations. They see to it that this marketplace is awash with merchants and moneylenders, day and night. Anything a man could ever desire can be purchased here, provided as he has sufficient funds. Surely there's something you seek, a deadlier sword perhaps, or a shinier trinket. Whatever it is you want, the exchange will have it. To the north, you will find merchants peddling armor and accessories, curatives and crafting materials. To the south, you will find weapons, tools, and an assortment of other useful items for sale. This is hogwash. Do not spend your coin on this stuff. You will get more than enough stuff if you are just running quests. Seek out a particular merchant or browse to your heart's content, but do try to remain aloof should you find something that piques your interest. Decisions made in the heat of the moment are usually unwise, especially where coin is concerned. Ahem. That is all the complimentary aid you shall have from me, and far too much for my taste. My regards to Mamodi. Now, off with you. Dick. Handing over items. Yep. You just saw me do it. Okay. We unlock the Aethernet shard. Now that we have this, you'll see that I have even though I unlocked Sapphire Avenue Exchange for the Aetherite network, it's darkened out. That's because it's the one I'm at. I can't transport to it. But I have all three of the ones here. Alright. Unfortunately, Uldah is a pain in the butt with this. Okay. Conniving ne'er-do-well. Alright. Yeah, unlocking the Aethernet shards is huge for getting stuff done in this game. Like, unbelievably huge. You do not want to run this whole place all the time. Alright. And we pop out here. Okay. Oh, right. I think it's... Okay. Whoops. Yeah. You can go around in first person. but you really don't get to see anywhere near as much. Turns into a whole issue. I should probably fix this part too. Okay. There we go. That's a little better. Yep. Way too FP. Okay. But what I'm doing is basically making it so that I stop seeing like every full name. Do-do. This is how we change the font. Change the font. Change the font. There. Okay. That is noticeably easier to read. We're good there. All right, so I'm going to talk about the expanded inventory interface. Okay. Whoops. That's armory chest stuff. So what we have is normal, in which you just get one and you click between all these, which is a terminal pain in the butt. It's one of those things that will annoy you over time. So what we do is we go into character. Expanded is what I just did, and that divvies it up a bit. You'll get two of your things at the same time. Boom. And then we have open all. All right. That puts us to, there we go. Key items and crystals, items. So I can see everything I have, and I'm going to be readjusting the size on this. Okay. There we go. All right. Notably, I have absolutely nothing in my inventory. Yeah, let's change this up too, and then I'm going to explain some stuff. Okay, so this is your character window. All right, so we've got attributes. There will be more to this later, but for right now, this is what we have. So it'll list off all your attributes. It's not really necessary for you to understand all this. Unless you're doing high-end content, or you're doing like, you don't really need it. This is your profile. You don't really have any titles yet, so we can't do a title. So we'll say you're a Hewer. For instance, I'm a Hewer, Midlander, male. Home city state is Ul'dah. This is the jobs list. Yeah, I have to level 100 all of this. So it's divided between Disciples of War and Magic. So Disciples of War are basically all of these, as well as these three. Then we have the Disciples Magic, which is your healers, and then your magical range deeps. Yeah, I had to max it all. That's gonna be a pain in my butt. Honestly, I don't use this tab much. The profile occasionally. Usually you want your class and jobs up. And there are other tabs that'll come up later. But that's really as much as you need in the current moment. I'm just missing gladiators on here. Let's keep moving. Okay. Okay, let's just keep exploring for the moment. As we head on up the stairs. To the hustings strip. Alright. So we essentially run around this area. Oop. I believe it's over here. If I'm remembering this properly. Which I might not be. I could be screwing this whole thing up right now. I'm just going further. Nope, I got it. Okay. I remember what I'm doing. Alright, that's the Alchemist Guild. I am not of level to even be talking to them, so let's get my Aethernet shard. And it will. You have Chamber of Rule. You have attuned yourself to the Aethernet shards in Ul'dah. The Gate of Null, the Gate of Thul, the Gate to the Sultana, and the airship landing are now accessible as Aethernet destinations. This is why you want to make sure you get every Aethernet shard in a place, and it will give you the whole run. So now we have this. I know, these are exciting maps, but it'll get you up to the airship landing and the gates, which is a thing you'll need. But for right now, I have a job to finish. Oh, shoot. Well, Ul'dah is a big place with lots to see and do, but wandering around aimlessly don't pay the bills. If you're serious about making a living here, you'll need to remember where things are. So when you go exploring, explore like you've got a purpose, eh? All right, then. All that's left for you to work hard, make money, and spend it here at the quicksand. Da, na, 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 na. All right. Let's not interfere with everyone's RP. All right. If you came looking to hire a chocobo porter, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. Our birds are very fickle creatures and tend to become agitated around those with a certain lack of demeanor. Return once you have proven you can handle yourself, and I'll personally see that you are assigned our best bird. Yeah. So, stuff locked behind progression. Pretty standard in these fairs. Okay. Let's take a look. I do actually need to go over this way. All right. So a thing we have not covered. I've been at this for over 10 years. I bought stuff on the thing. I'm most likely not going to use most of it because this whole point is to be a challenge. But there's also things like my recruiter friends stuff and whatnot. The Mogpendium will prove to be an invaluable resource during the Moogle treasure trove. Well, pour over its contents to find the best ways to get your hands on irregular tombstones, then use that knowledge to fill your packs. And once the weight of your tombstones becomes too much to bear, bring them to me, and I'll give you all sorts of rare and remarkable items. Okay, so this is one of the Moogle things. Basically, when they do a tombstone event, you'll have standard objectives. These are various what are called duties, which is the dungeons, the trials, the raids and whatnot, even PvP and gold saucer stuff and fishing. Then you have like all of this. It's kind of awesome. So you have weeklies, you have mini mog, which is done by weeks. Then you have one-time shots. You know, it's just one of those things they did so that we could all have some fun. But yeah, in the top right up here, you'll see I have like Mateus, that's my homeworld. That'll tell you what server you're on. And I have new letters numbering 20. Because after 10 years of this, I have a bunch of crap that is just sitting there. A lot of which I don't think I can even really use right now. Now, some of it is admittedly like veterans rewards. Delivery Moogle. This is the email system. If you want to send emails and potentially stuff to some friends in game, this is where you want to be. Why, indeed. If I had my way, I'd be curled up under the canopy of a nice oak, dreaming about some beautiful mooglet with a rainbow-colored pom-pom. Goopo. But no, the moon had to go and drop from the sky, causing all of that terrible commotion. Aetherites were shattered, and link pearls rendered useless. For moons, the poor, wingless people of Eorzea had no way of communicating with each other, beyond screaming at the top of their lungs, which no one would really approve of, Kupo. That is, until the little horned ones asked us to assist them by delivering messages. First we were wary of showing ourselves, worried that one of you might catch and skin us, like you do every other forest furry. Once we saw how much we were appreciated, we knew we'd found our new calling, and I personally promised to try and not read any along the way. Kupo, look at what we have here. 20 new letters have just arrived for you, Kupo. Your mailbox is a complete and utter mess. There wasn't any room left, so I had to send back a letter, Kupo. Okay. So first, I'm going to pop this open. This just goes over the thing. If you want to do new stuff, there you go. So for instance, this is recruit offense stuff. This gives me the fist bump emote, and I get gold chocobo feathers. Take that. More gold chocobo feathers. More gold chocobo feathers. I really was kind of bringing a few people in this game. All right. Ah, yes, this is, these are essentially what are called glamour pieces. I can't unlock the stuff yet, but it's at least there. Unique items. There we go. All right. Yeah, so this is all basically veteran rewards because I've been... I've been here a hot minute. They stopped doing an uptick in those. Oh, yeah, these were pre-order stuff. Okay. Minions. Yep. Chocobo for the 90 days. More recruit a friend. I forget which one this was for. My inventory is going to get weird. Some of the stuff, I swear to God, I just don't remember what it was from. Some of it's pre-order stuff and whatnot. It's a whole list of things. Okay. All right. So none of these have any stats, so they're not great for me, but hey. Yeah, I was wondering. And this is the crap that happens when you do this. So that was for Dawn Trail, because that's when Pictomancer comes in. Oh, I believe this was from the Endwalker pre-order. Shadowbringers. Oh, yes. Right. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, that's the Stormblood stuff. Okay. True End Boss. Inventory management. So basically, these are all one-time use items that I can repeatedly do, and I'll show you in a minute. So many minions out of the gate. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Okay. That is done. And I think what I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to cut this off here as I get, after I do my little quest here. Battle! Okay, so the earring does change things a bit. Now, this is an old thing that I got, and it is going to help me out here. So what this is Menfina's earring. What it does is it syncs to your level. So despite the fact that it says item level 430 while I'm wearing all L1 gear, it will basically put itself down to stats that are relevant for first level. So it's only strength. So, basic strength, vitality, direct hit rate, and it switches between jobs. I've got a lot of work to do. There's no way of passing that up because the big thing that it does is boost my experience. All right. I'm very sorry about this. Experience points. To be honest, so binding items. So now you'll see if you look at the top of the tab over here, over where it says Weathered Hora, it says binding. That means these are now bound to me. I won't be able to trade them. They have been used. There is an upside to binding, which is that you start generating points toward materia. And of course, if you look, yep, see, the star monuments lost their little thingy because now I have completed that part of the quest. It does make your life a little easier in the game. I actually remember originally there weren't Aetheryte tickets. Right, I do not have a mount. Or at least I have mounts, but I do not have access to them until a later point. Which is going to be a whole thing. So for right now, I'm going to be running about. Oh yes, feel that action. Generally speaking, past the lowest levels, and with the exception of Blue Mage, going after base mobs really doesn't do anything. Now, you'll notice this little thing here that is highlighted with the little swirly thing. That is because this is the second part of my combo. So when I execute the first, it sets up the second. Stop trying to ride a mount. Don't have one. All right. Did that. Ah, you're back, and none the worse for the exertion. Youthful vigor's a truly blessed thing. Gotten off to a fine start, son. Help you on your way? I want you to have this hunting log. Then you'll find the names of various creatures, opponents that you might hone your skills against. If you want to become strong, you mustn't neglect your training. Indeed, a pugilist is only as good as the number of strikes he's dealt. Get out there, Sean, and let your fists fly. When the time is ripe, I'll teach you something new. There's no limit to the potential of youth. Look forward to seeing you come into your own. Ha ha ha. Yep. So here you're basically every 5 levels going to get a job quest. Here I'm being given experience and a marmot steak. Now, generally speaking, I don't really need the marmot steak, but it does give me a 3% XP boost for 30 minutes, which is very important. That's the hunting log. All right. That is done. So until I am 5th level, can't really advance. All right. Well, I do believe that's going to be kind of it for step 1 of this. What I'm going to do is go ahead and do I have to actually unlock the inn? To a certain someone, the Old Dod Dispatch Yard. Baron's back. Thanolin, that's another altogether. I know a bloke you might fancy speaking to, and he you. Name of Papashan. Find him over at the Old Dispatch Yard. No doubt he'll have some work for you. The dispatch yard's over in central Thanolin. Just head out the door across the hall, and you'll see the Gate of Nald staring right back at you. Pass through it and head east. Come upon it for long. There's dangers beyond the wall, though. More than I'd care to count. Nothing too terrible, mind you. If I see enough to attack if you draw near. Don't say nobody cared enough to warn you. Alright. Greetings, I am one of the smiths, a stoker of fires and forger of futures. As a dedicated member of the Adventurers Guild, I have been entrusted with the task of providing assistance to new adventurers. I see you have but recently taken up the adventurer's mantle. The possibilities stretching out before you must be positively daunting. In the Adventurers Guild, we see new adventurers as fledgling heroes. You're our champions of tomorrow, our nascent stars of limitless potential. My fellow smiths and I are here to provide you with guidance, but the guild also enlists a cadre of veteran adventurers who will be happy to share with you their accumulated wisdom. Recognize these helpful men and women by their title of mentor. Mentors stand ready to advise you on any aspect of adventuring. They have hundreds of quests under their belt and will most likely have a solution for whatever dilemma might be causing you trouble. Mentor may even offer to accompany you on your adventures. I highly recommend that you take advantage of a mentor's aid to enrich your experiences in Eorzea. Pray do not hesitate to ask me if you would like to know more. The new adventurer status is applied to all players who have recently begun their adventures in Eorzea. Yeah, that's called Sprouts. because of the icon next to our names. All right. Good evening to you, adventurer. Do you seek lodgings at the Hourglass? Pardon me, what was your name again? Sean O'Island? I've heard nothing from Mistress Momodi about this. Okay. I haven't unlocked that yet. But I feel like this is a good place to pause, because and I'll be on later to do more. But I figure this is a good pause point. We can have a nice little time. Got our very beginning stuff out of the way. And I can proceed to adventure. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And I will catch you later. Thanks for watching.